Oh my gosh! I hope that did not start. That I hope the stream did not start
Oh
with
God.
we. We are on the road to Unforgiven 2001, and we are 3 weeks in. We've done two Raws, two SmackDowns, and here comes Raw number 3, the September 3rd, 2001 edition of Raw. Tro yesterday said this was the September 6th edition of Raw,
Yeah, I
which
don't know why I kept on saying that. I
I
might have
was
gotten mixed up with SmackDown.
I was counting too. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get to the date, and then you just like September 6th. I'm like, well, that doesn't seem right, but I'll take your word
Yeah,
for
I
it.
don't know why. I don't know why I said six. That doesn't
All
make
we
any
needed,
sense.
we were both dumb because all we needed to do is just look at the fact that obviously, for obvious reasons, we know the next episode of Raw is the 10th, and all you got to
Yes.
do is -7. You get to 3. That's all we needed to
Yeah.
do. It's simple
Now
math.
I will say the context. If the opening was me saying, "Oh no, watch out for an airplane," it's not because what you think it was. I was just thinking
Yeah.
of that. I was thinking of Davari's theme from TNA original theme where they have an airplane coming crashing
Oh,
down as a sound effect.
yeah. Yeah, that was not the smartest move by
No,
yeah.
imagine that's what they had him do. He debuts next week after.
Oh
Oh
my.
my God, it's tomorrow. The fuck so?
um yeah, so September 3rd. So here's another mistake that we have made, mostly me. I've been saying for weeks since we pretty much started this road too that the last moment in WWE history in a pre 9/11 world, literally hours before the tragedy, was Kurt Angle pushing Stone Cold Steve Austin into a kiddie pool. Well, if you've seen the thumbnail for this video, that is not the case. Somehow, I pulled my own Mandela effect because even long before we started doing this Road to Unforgiven 01, I've always thought that was the case. And obviously, I was not a fan back in 2001, but I first watched 2001 Raws like over a decade ago. So for some reason, I've thought this for a long time that the September 10th Raw ended with Stone Cold Steve with Kurt Angle pushing Stone Cold into a kiddie pool, and
Can't believe it, Frank. You've ruined every joke that I've made of Austin and that kiddie pool.
I didn't ruin it. It turns out it
I
just
can't. I can't believe it. Now the joke about him being in the kiddie pool during 9/11 does not work.
well he could at least say the biggest tragedy that happened 2 weeks ago. He could have been like that,
Maybe Kurt put him back in the kiddie pool after this. That's the dark segment for next week.
I don't, for some reason I've come across my own I just what's the saying again? Mandela effect.
Mandela.
Yeah, some reason
Yeah.
I had always thought that that was how the September 10th. Well, spoiler alert, because I was looking through like notes of the show for the 10th because from other people because I have not watched the show yet. We will. I will whenever we get to review it. But I was looking through the notes of it, and just to make sure, like, did it really not end with the kiddie pool? It ended with a tag match. That's how the September 10th episode ended. So the last moment in a pre 9/11 world was actually them going off the air after a tag match that involved Stephanie McMahon. That was one name that stuck out in that whole segment. Was Stephanie was in it? I think Rock was in it. But anyway, once we get to that episode, we'll go over it.
Yeah. A
The
Mandela effect.
yeah, the
Just
the kiddie pool segment happened on this show, and Shut Your Mouth fans will absolutely remember part of
Yeah.
the Kurt Angle and Stone Cold Steve Austin segments that go on throughout the night,
Yeah.
because they used one of the moments in part of the story mode for Shut Your Mouth.
A well-known Mandela effect is that they built up Undertaker and Kane versus Chronic before Unforgiven. Everyone
But
thinks that they somehow set that match up, and they just didn't.
it's funny you meant it's funny you mentioned that, because I found out the story with Chronic. Because remember how I was wondering yesterday, like, were they building towards X Factor and they didn't exactly have Chronic under contract or something? Turns out I may have been right, because on the exact day that this show took place, September 3rd, 2001, is the day WWE signed Chronic. So maybe they were building towards Undertaker and Kane versus X Factor.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. There you go. Maybe one day we'll have one of the writers. Well, I guess it would be what's his name, Brian
Brian Gewirtz.
Gawartz. I guess one day we'll have Gawartz on the show, and he'll discuss
Yeah.
what happened
Right.
there.
That's right. That's right after we get Jim Cornette and Vince Russo on,
Oh,
on at the same time.
we gotta get Vinny Rule on here. Obviously, I don't think
Obviously.
I don't think Cornette would want to come on our show. We're talking about a dude. Obviously, I'm sure he doesn't. Obviously, he doesn't watch our show, but we're talking about a dude who legitimately blocked my X account over.
He's a big fan of us. He's our number one fan.
He legitimately one time blocked my X account. I've told this story on the channel before, but he blocked my X account because one day I tagged him in like a Camp Cornette post, because the account in question was like a mid '90s WWE page, early to mid '90s WWE X account, and he retweeted that. He saw that tweet, he retweeted it. So I got like a ton of followers and retweets off that. But then a few days later, I make a post on X that had nothing to do with Cornette, never tagged him. I knew not to tag him because he would not love to see this post. It was just a post putting over Russo. And obviously, with all the new followers, I should have thought of this, but with all the new followers from the Cornette retweet, one of his goons got in there and was like, "Hey, Jim Cornette, look at this." And I'm like, well, Jim Cornette's gonna ignore this. Like, he really cares what somebody's got to say. Some nobody's got to say about Russo. Literally minutes later, I checked Jim Cornette's X account and I'm blocked. Like, what? Literally never tagged Cornette in there. I wasn't trying to stir shit up. I appreciated the fact that that Cornette put, gave me a ton of retweets, gave me a ton of new followers. I appreciated it. But then he blocked me over something stupid like that had nothing to do with him, because one of his little goons, and I immediately blocked the goon too. One of his little cult of Cornette boys was like, "Jim, look at this." But anyway, the September 3rd, 2001 Raw is what we are covering. And so once again, this was a big thing for WWE, apparently, building up to Unforgiven. We're not kicking shows off with segments. We're kicking them off with fucking matches. And so we start the show obviously with a recap of what happened on SmackDown or actually Raw and SmackDown, with Austin taking the medals and essentially just taunting Kurt Angle, and then we show the intro, and they promote the main event for tonight: Chris Jericho and Jeff Hardy versus Rhino and RVD. By the way, Paul Heyman mentions this on the show at the very beginning of the tag match, where He does his usual, Rhino, the last ECW champion, but he also brings up a really good point. Rhino was the first person, and so at this point, Rhino's the only person to pin The Rock since WrestleMania. How about that?
Hmm.
So, speaking of The Rock, while they also show your main event, that tag match, where they also show Rock defends the WCW title against Christian, and keep Christian in mind because this is a big episode for him. And no, it's not because of the WCW title match. But here we go. We open the show here, and again, remember this is this is the day WWE signed Chronic. So Undertaker opens the show. He's in a match. He's not in a match with Albert. He's not in a match with X-Pac, obviously.
No.
The X Factor thing, I'm pretty sure they were building that for Unforgiven. It's now out the window. And Undertaker is facing Test in a one-on-one match. A very forgettable match until the end, where now we're actually building what Undertaker and Kane are getting at Unforgiven. Undertaker sets up for the last ride when Steven Richards runs down to the ring, runs interference, does a super kick to Undertaker, and obviously that gets Test disqualified. Undertaker tries to go after Steven Richards, but then runs into a big boot from Test, and that's the end of that. That's your opener. The match itself, nothing to talk about, but good. We're finally building to the right tag title match for Unforgiven.
Yes.
It took 3 weeks, but here we go.
Undertaker Kane versus the RTC with only Steven Richards as member.
Well, Steven Richards, uh, after this match here, does explain why he did what he did, and it involves RTC. But
Yeah.
like I said, nothing match, but we get some build up to the pay-per-view after the match, and that gets a plus in my book. What do you think about the opening match here?
I thought it was good. We've had no Undertaker face TNA. So
That's right. And
he's beaten TNA.
I've joked that the Albert matches were SummerSlam 2003 previews. Well, this was a SummerSlam 2002 preview. We're running Undertaker
Yeah.
SummerSlam previews. We're
I can't,
throwing back prior Austin moments in his feud, and now we got Undertaker facing all his future SummerSlam opponents in the
I
next
can't
couple
wait for next week when he faces Bradshaw
years.
and then faces an OVW Randy Orton.
If he really somehow faces Bradshaw next week on well, doesn't even have to be next week, just has to be on SmackDown in 3. So we go off to that. Undertaker essentially wins the match by DQ. Now we have Christian backstage with a essentially arena attendant, whatever you want to call him, and he's like, "Man, I'm a celebrity here in Toronto." Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention. I messaged you this too during Undertaker versus Test. We we got some Go Leafs Go
Uh,
chants. So
you know, if you look closely, you can actually see John Tavares in that crowd.
now you
For
said
sure.
0 out of 10, but here's I am going to change that rating. Why? Because there was one guy in the crowd that actually had an Islander jersey on, Islander sweater.
I'm sure John Tavares was very disappointed in that boy. I don't know what random 2001 Highlander jersey he has.
And
That's such a
this
random jersey to have on.
this same guy, by the way, is not a fan of TSN because he actually had a TSN sucks sign.
Oh my! We sent an American invader.
Yeah, I guess so. He must have been. That's what you think at first. Like maybe the guy's from New York and he traveled to Toronto, but then he pulls up a TSN suck sign. It's like, oh, maybe he's a Toronto
I
Islander
can't
fan.
I can't get the Islanders on my TSN. Why do they keep on playing the Why do they keep on playing the Maple Leafs and all the Winnipeg Jet games?
There were no Winnipeg. There was no
Well, I'm saying
Winnipeg
though
Jets.
that's why it's old Winnipeg Jet games.
Oh, I thought you said all Winnipeg Jets. Oh, yeah, yeah,
No, no. You see, these Toronto fans are very confused because now they have to accept that a new team named the Columbus Blue Jackets exists. It's yet another team they have to deal with.
yeah. Well, the Wild are brand new too at this point. Jackets and Wild both came in the league at the same point,
Yeah,
2000. Yeah.
hockey in Minnesota. Oh, give me a break.
So Christian is talking about his celebrity status here in Toronto. So to this stadium attendant or arena attendant, when a couple of fans come up to him and legitimately say, "Hey, you're Edge's brother." Again, building what's to come. They didn't say you're Christian. They said you're Edge's brother. And Christian's like, yeah, I'm Edge's, I'm him or whatever. He didn't say, yeah, I'm Edge's brother. He was like, yeah, I'm the guy, yeah. So they say he signs autographs for the fans, the couple of fans. Those fans leave, and then Christian turns his attention back on the arena attendant and is like, look, I'm going to be winning the WCW title tonight, and fans are going to be taking pictures and everything of me. Everybody's going to be taking pictures. Make sure you kick those fans out. The fans, obviously referring to the ones that just got his autograph. He's like, I don't want any ugly people in my picture when I win the WCW title tonight. So good little quick backstage segment there. Christian just being a heel. Obviously, he hasn't fully turned heel yet. He's going to real soon. But obviously, at this point, everything he's doing is just heel tendencies. And I give the stadium attendant credit too because he has some really good facial reactions, like "Get this dude out of here," type of like, "Who is this guy?" What do you think about this little segment here with Christian, the arena attendant, and the fans getting on autograph from Christian?
I like that Christian doesn't just freak out immediately when they say, "Oh, you're Edge's brother." He's like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, that is me. Yeah, yeah, I'm the guy."
yeah,
But it's good heel work, eventual heel work.
yeah. Eventually. So now, as I hold on, yeah, now as I mentioned earlier, we were going to get Stephen Richards' reasonings for what he just did, and we're going to get him right here as Michael Cole is interviewing Stephen Richards. He asks him, "Why did you do what you did?" And Stephen Richards says, "Of all the people who tried to take down Right to Censor, that man laying in the ring right now is the one guy who did it. And I am challenging Undertaker to a match tomorrow night on SmackDown." And that from Steven Richards was not a slip up. This is actually the first time, this next episode that we will be reviewing, the SmackDown episode, September 4th, will actually be the first time in SmackDown history when SmackDown airs live, period, but live on Tuesday.
Yeah,
And due to an obvious circumstance outside of WWE's, outside of really anybody's hands, SmackDown goes live the very next week as well, and that was the first time that SmackDown was ever live on Thursday.
yeah. They don't
Yeah,
bring that up in the history books. They're not like,
yeah,
"Oh, this is the
yeah,
first time that Thursday night Smack. Welcome to the first ever live Thursday night SmackDown." Here's Lillian Garcia to sing the national anthem after what happened on Tuesday.
yeah. So yeah, Steven Richards challenging Undertaker to a match tomorrow night on SmackDown, and since that SmackDown is tomorrow, why not review it tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. We are continuing. This is gonna be like what, 5 days in a row now we've done a review.
Except for Tuesday, yeah.
Is that for Tuesday? Oh, what happened Tuesday?
I don't know. We just didn't do a show.
No, but didn't we start Wednesday or did we start Monday?
We did a show Monday, didn't do anything Tuesday, and then came back on Wednesday.
Okay, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So third day in a row, but fourth in 5 days, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah. So there you go. Thoughts on Steven Richards explaining why he turned, or excuse me, explaining why he attacked the Undertaker.
Hey, it's great to see Steven Richards, and look at that continuity. He's probably. I like that he's still pissed off about the RTC that happened all the way back in April.
Well, yeah, I thought it was a good segment. You get uh, legitimately right away we get an explanation. You don't see that a lot with situations like that. But Steven Richards, a new tag team just got hired today. I wonder if, and just so happens that Steven Richards is returning on that same day. I wonder if there's a
Yeah,
connection there. There's some kind of connection there.
I
I
wonder.
mean, they are built. It has nothing to do with Undertaker and Kane, though. They're building Undertaker and Kane to take on X Factor.
I mean, right now it looks like they're building up on Shaker versus Steven Richards running freaking
Yeah, yeah, that is.
at this rate.
Yeah. So no build until now. We finally get a little build for that tag match, even though the team is not announced. But that's the beginning of it. But still, no build really for Undertaker and Kane versus Chronic. No build, barely any build. And they will be in a tag match once again tonight. Whenever they're in a tag match, that's like the only build we're getting for the hardcore match, which is Chris Jericho taking on RVD. But
Don't
yeah,
worry,
they
the build is as bad as the matches.
now see. I disagree with that because we haven't reviewed Unforgiven yet, so I don't want to get too much into it. But Unforgiven, I enjoyed Unforgiven '01. Just the build up to it could have been much better, and the show would have been much better if they did that. It was a decent show. From a 2001 WWE standpoint, it was one of the least best pay per views. Although I'd probably give it to Judgment Day for least best, but still a good show, a decent show. I don't think there was a bad pay per view in 2001, but that's my opinion.
Maybe one of the UK shows.
I'd have to rewatch some of the UK shows. I
A
know
lot of those
Rebel.
were just a lot of those were just hell freaking house shows, basically.
Yeah, but Rebellion. I actually have Rebellion 2001 on DVD. That's a really good show. You get like
Yeah,
Rock versus Austin. I think Edge and Christian face off in a cage match.
a
Which,
blue steel cage.
yeah, I don't know why the hell Edge and Christian are facing off. They're literally tag. This is only a
Yeah.
couple months. This show is only a couple months away. So why the hell are the brothers, the tag team, facing off in a cage match?
Well, you know what? After Christian wins the title tonight,
Yeah, yeah.
they face off each other in the steel
For the
cage for it.
For,
Obviously.
and the steel cages for the title. So
Yeah.
a little brother against brother for the
Yeah,
WC.
it's a little Bret Hart Owen Hart tribute match there.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. So there's no heat between Edge and Christian,
No.
obviously. No, even though Grandma Edna is not picking up the phone for Christian, we still
Well,
know
I think Grandma Edna can go fuck herself. How about that?
Troll with the heat on Grandma Edna. How about that? Okay. After that, we have WrestleMania 18 will be in the
Oh
sky.
my god! WrestleMania 18! I can't wait! Ooh, WrestleMania! Can't wait. It's gonna be
We
great. It's gonna
have
be awesome.
we have highlights in according to JR. This press conference took place earlier in the day, so they
Yeah.
probably literally hired Chronic at the press conference. Who knows?
Yeah. That's why Vince McMahon wasn't there. That's why they got everybody else. He was busy signing Chronic.
So WrestleMania 18 will be at the Sky Dome in Toronto, and you know what? Undertaker says leave the roof open because we will blow it off. And he was right on the money because he was because
This press,
he was though because Hulk Hogan and The Rock, one of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history, and they blew the roof off. Undertaker was
it's funny
right
because
on the money.
they have Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon there. WrestleMania is the grandest stage of them all. Too bad it won't happen because we're gonna put WWF out of business. You got the fucking Donald. You got the Donald Trump sound alike.
Yeah, yeah.
33 million people are gonna be here. It's
Yeah,
gonna be great.
they had Toronto's mayor and Toronto's what was the other one? There was like two political
I don't.
figures. There was two political figures. One of the guys was like, every city in the whole world wanted WrestleMania, but we laid the smack on all of them. He didn't even say SmackDown. He literally just said we laid the smack on all of them.
Every city in the world wanted WrestleMania 18. Did they? I mean,
So
WrestleMania 17 was great, but you're not topping that one. So
I don't think the cities themselves are caring about how good the show's going to be. They just care about how much
yeah.
money's going in their pocket. So yeah, I
Well,
think he's
nowadays it is a situation of everybody wanting to host a WrestleMania. I don't know
again
if that
because
was
of that
the case
money.
in 2002.
I think it was because of all that money. That is big money, man.
Imagine that's where they announce Hogan's coming in. That Hulk Hogan, what up, brother Jack? I'm gonna face The Rock at WrestleMania 18.
Oh boy.
We're gonna take off that roof for the Sky Dome. Leave it open because they're gonna blow it off. Says the Undertaker. Oh,
He
by the
was
way,
right.
I'm gonna be a heel by then. I'm gonna beat up Ric Flair's gonna come in. I'm gonna kick his dumbass son's ass. It's gonna be great.
Shane and Stephanie. I mean, we don't want to go too far and outside of the invasion angle because we're only going up to Unforgiven here. But from what I hear, Shane and Stephanie hire a custodian for
Of course,
WCW,
a custodian.
a custodian or whatever it is,
He's gonna sweep the.
custodian.
He's gonna sweep the. I am going to sweep the floors of WWF. I did not read the contract. I thought I was the consortium. I'm actually just a
Custodian,
custodian.
yeah. Custodian, yeah.
Woo!
So
Who needs to change to clean the toilets? Rikishi just took a fucking fat shit in there. I ain't doing it.
So custodian, like you said, they Shane and Stephanie apparently hire a custodian, and I don't know why you did a Ric Flair impersonation there, but we don't know who that is. I don't know. We're only.
It could be. I'm assuming it's Ric Flair. It could be Ric Flair.
Why do you think it's Ric Flair? You telling me Undertaker's going to face Ric Flair at WrestleMania 18 and Rock's going to face Hogan at WrestleMania 18? Hogan's not
That's
even in the
true.
company. Freaking Ric Flair doesn't even work.
So
It's
stupid.
September 3rd, 2001.
That's almost as stupid as thinking that the last shot before 9/11 was Austin in a kiddie pool,
I make one little mistake on
or
first.
thinking that the Bears
You know
were
what?
going to beat the Colts in the Super Bowl 41.
What I tell you about mentioning? What I tell you about mentioning Super Bowl 41? You can't mention. You mention Super Bowl 41, it's a perma band. But you know what's worse? You know what's worse than thinking the kiddie pool segment was on September 10th? Thinking that
this is the 6th. This is September 6th, and not September 3rd.
Yeah. What's 10 days? What's 7 days before the 10th? Oh, the 6th. Oh yeah.
No, 9/11 happened on a Sunday or a Saturday.
No, it happened
Everyone
on a
knows that.
Tuesday. No, it happened on a Tuesday.
No, no, no. According to my math, it was a Saturday or Sunday, and the office buildings must have been empty. They really fucked up this plan.
Oh boy. Everybody's gonna think this isn't the road to Unforgiven. This is a road to 9/11.
I mean, it, it pretty much has been what we've been hyping that up more than we've been hyping up the fucking tag team match for the Brothers Destruction.
We don't even know who they're gonna fit. We still don't even know who the brothers are.
Yeah,
They're the WWE and WCW tag team champions, and they have no opponent for the pay per view. Although it seems like at the moment it's gonna be X Factor,
of
managed
course,
by Steven Richards.
obviously. ST X Factor.
So obviously, yeah, Sky Dome. They're at the Sky Dome here doing the WrestleMania 18 press conference, and the highlight of the press conference, you kind of spoiled it, but the highlight of the
Yeah.
press conference, we got Stephanie McMahon looking absolutely amazing, and we will see her later in the show. So, by the way, the alliance, the alliance truly won. Like, let's be honest. The Alliance had Stacy Keebler. The Alliance had Ivory. The Alliance had Tori Wilson, and the Alliance had Stephanie McMahon. The Alliance truthfully won. WWE, all WWE had was Trish Stratus, and it seems like at this point, like where we are, which
What about
has
Lita?
been, Lita's okay.
What about Ivory?
Ivory's on the Alliance. I mentioned her. I said
Huh.
me and Christian actually have something in common when it comes to Lita. We're not all that crazy about her. Which nothing
Oh, no
against her.
wonder. No wonder Grandma Edna doesn't like you. Doesn't like Christian.
Nothing against Lita personally. Obviously, not everybody's gonna have the same attraction, you know. But yeah, Ivory, Tori Wilson, Stacy Keebler, Stephanie McMahon, the Alliance won. Let's be honest. And all WWE Team WWE had Trish, and Trish seemingly is injured for most of the invasion. I don't know. I mean, I remember she was at Survivor, but at least from what we have gone, these shows we've gone over, I can't remember if Trish has been on any of them. I don't remember, but she definitely wasn't on this show. So coming off the press conference, we have Tajiri with William Regal. Tajiri is speaking in Japanese, but William Regal somehow understands. And William Regal's like, yes, you got screwed over last week. But guess what? I'm putting you in a number one contenders match for the hang on a minute. It's a it's a number one contenders match for the tag titles. And you just need to find a partner, excuse me. And this match is gonna be against the Dudley Boys. And that is when Big Show walks in, starts speaking in Japanese to Tajiri, and that's pretty much it. Uh, and William Regal says something to the effect of, "Well, I knew it was going to be big. I didn't think it was going to be that big," or something like that. I don't know, referring to the partner
Oh
being Big
my.
Show. So, what do you think? More good comedy out of our commissioner and his
I like
assistant
I like
Tajiri.
that I like that
But
William Regal works on cartoon logic of this guy speaks a different language and no one else can understand him, but he can.
well, Big Show apparently,
Oh,
Big
Big
Show
Show
not
can obviously talk. Obviously, can speak Japanese. Everyone
yeah.
knows that. He faced Akibono.
Well, that's like 4 years from now, but yeah. Rest in peace to
Yeah.
Akibono. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, more good comedy out of Tajiri and William Regal. And we will be having later on tonight a number one contenders match for the WWE Tag Team titles. Dudley Boys against Tajiri and Big Show. Now we have Austin walking to his locker room with Deborah, and he's like, these Toronto people, they got to finish, or these Canadians, they finish every sentence with A. Hey, and by the way, when Stephanie McMahon gets the ring later and cuts a promo, she literally just goes with the same thing, the whole A thing. But we'll
What
get
a,
to that.
this is the only joke we have with Canadians. You say A.
So Austin is as he's saying this to Deborah. Him and Deborah are both walking to his locker room. They get to the door. They open the door, and Austin's kind of like backwards opening the door because he's looking at Deborah while he's talking to him. And as he opens the door, you see like a bunch of Alliance guys, and they're all like, "Surprise!" Austin's like, What the hell?" And yeah, just a little surprised from the Alliance, and Stephanie says there actually is a surprise for Stone Cold Steve Austin that's going to come later tonight, and that is where we get to the shut your mouth thing, that the one part on this show that is immortalized forever in the shut your mouth storyline. We will get to that a little later, but uh, oh yeah. Austin also says that he threw the medals in the river for each and every one of the members of the alliance. And actually, okay, so this was a surprise for Stone Cold, but Stephanie lets Stone Cold know that later tonight there is a much bigger surprise. So now we have the well. What do you think of the surprise and the surprise and Stephanie letting Austin know that there will be an even bigger surprise? What do you think of that? This segment.
Oh, I think Austin deserves every little surprise that he gets. He's just so amazing. And I would have loved if Austin, when he walked in and gets surprised, he's like, and he just stuns somebody, some random person.
That'd be funny as hell.
Are you scared? You sorry? You startled me, son.
um, yeah, I thought it was a good segment. It's just setting up something for later on tonight. So that's about it. Now we have Tajiri and Big Show versus the Dudley Boys for the number one contenders match. And remember last week, Tori Wilson kind of joined Tajiri. And I actually forgot to mention at the beginning of the segment in Regal's office that we just went over, William Regal told Tajiri, like, yeah, I'm sorry that you lost your match last week. You got screwed, but I told you not to align yourself with a woman in the alliance like Tori Wilson. That was a big mistake. Well, Tori Wilson ends up coming down to the ring here, and there's some type of bump here. I guess knocks Tori off the apron or something and knocks her down. We don't even see it in live. It's like they just cut at one point to Tori Wilson, and Tori Wilson just laid out. But I believe the Dudley Boys, yeah, the Dudley Boys get the win here. And after this, Big Show carries Tori Wilson to the back. And the Dudley Boys bring a table in and 3D Tajiri through the table. Big Show comes back after this, but it was way too late. And yeah, the Dudley Boys are your number one contenders for the tag team titles.
So now it
Uh,
will be the Dudleys versus Undertaker and Kane.
I, I,
Unforgiven,
I
obviously.
guess so. I guess so. And
Finally.
Maybe Steven Richards will be in the Dudley Boys corner. But I gotta be honest, that's a downgrade. You go from the Dutch. Oh well, no, they're not with Stacy yet. Never mind. Never mind. That's not a. It's, never mind what I said. I forgot. They're not with Stacy just yet. Or are they?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah. Okay. So they're not. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Well, first off, I would say that although the tag match itself wasn't really much to talk about, everything that happened beyond that, and we're joking here about who the Undertaker and Kane are going to face, but everything that happened post match was building to a 4-man elimination tag match at Unforgiven. So we get some build towards that match. We've actually had build towards it, and we're going to get more later with Matt Hardy and Hurricane Helms and Ivory and Lita and all that. But again, the match was not much to talk about, but everything that happened after that was really good. What did you think?
I thought it was a fine tag match. Nothing too
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Now this is an interesting segment here. We have Christian in the back, polishing off Edge's King of the Ring trophy, which again, it's a really nice thing to do for your brother. They're
Yeah.
they're fine, right? Christian may have been acting a little, heelish around his brother lately, and even around everybody, to be honest. But Edge and Christian are brothers. They're good friends. Yeah. So then nothing's bad's going on with them, except for the fact again that Grandma Edna is not picking up the phone for Christian.
Yeah.
What's
Fucking
that?
bitch.
Trogue heels on Grandma Edna once again. How about that? But as Christian is polishing off the King of the Ring trophy, we see Shane McMahon and Booker T come over to Christian. Shane McMahon essentially says, let's put this alliance WWE thing to the side, because remember, Christian, even though he's been pretty much a heel for the last couple of weeks, is still Team WWE. So
Obviously.
Shane McMahon's telling him, let's put that to the side. You're going for the WCW title tonight against our rival, pretty much, is Shane McMahon, Booker T, our rival, The Rock. And we're going to help. Essentially, what tells him is, we're going to help you win the WCW title tonight. We're going to be not backstage. We're going to be ringside for you. Booker T is going to be like the special guest ring announcer, and Shane McMahon's going to be the special guest timekeeper, and we are going to help you win the WCW title. And after that, you Christian are going to give Booker T a shot at the WCW title tomorrow night on SmackDown. Christian likes what he hears, he agrees to it, and there you go. WCW title later tonight with a special guest ring announcer and a special guest timekeeper. What do you think of this segment right here?
Christian, you're being awfully a little naughty talking to the enemy here. I'm just saying.
He is. But again, him and Christian there's nothing going on there. Him and
Obviously.
Christian are brothers. Yeah. So now, and I will say this was a great segment. I like this. Again, just putting more and more of the, what's going on with Christian here. Why is he acting like a jerk to his brother? Is he actually about to join the alliance? Is that why all of this has been going on? It was a good little segment that'll have you thinking now. So now, as I said, we've been building this pay-per-view for 3 weeks. 3 weeks now. We cut to the world here.
No.
And what poster is on the world?
WrestleMania 18, obviously. They just announced it.
No, that would have made more sense than the actual poster that was on the world. The 3-week-old pay-per-view of SummerSlam was promoted on the world, right above the big thing, the big, I guess, marquee thing that still is up there in that I guess it's a Hard Rock Cafe now,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Yeah, that it's right above that. You got the poster, and it's SummerSlam. Did WWE like really not care whatsoever about Unforgiven? Because the way they're building this show,
Yeah.
they're doing a good job with the main events, but it's like everything else is like, what the hell?
They're like, man, we don't really care about this pay per view. And then 9/11 happens. They're like, we really don't care about this pay per view.
To be fair, but this is late as hell. To be fair, there is the most infamous cut to the world in WWE history actually happens the very next week, and
Yeah.
in that cut to the world, they actually have the Unforgiven poster. So it took them about 4 weeks. It took them a whole month. It's like, oh, by the way, guys, we have a pay per view in this month. It's
Oh,
like
by the
two
way,
weeks.
folks, we are 2 weeks away from our pay per view. That will be the biggest news story this week. We've changed the posters here in New York.
Well, we cut to WWE New York, and this is going to be very memorable next week. And you can find the clip on YouTube. Not that anything big happens.
Yeah, it's not like they
No,
don't
no,
show the towers then.
no, not nothing big happens in the clip,
It's it's just
but
ominous.
it's the most memorable cut to the world WWE ever did because it's very ominous. We see New York City just hours before the
Yeah,
worst terror attack in the country, but obviously a terror attack that mainly took place in the city, even though there
yeah,
were other places. But we see
yeah.
Canyon,
DC tends to forget that.
yes, DC, Pennsylvania. We see
Yeah,
Canyon at WWE New York, and he says that he has renamed WWE New York. It is now Alliance New York. What do you think about what do you think about Canyon
you know,
changing?
it,
Go ahead.
it could have been a lot worse if he said Invasion New York.
Invasion New
That
York.
would have been a whole lot worse. I mean, you want to get technical. After 9/11, there was a lot of alliance to get. Everyone was aligned together, so
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
who better than Canyon? Maybe he was onto something.
yeah. Maybe he was. Uh,
The alliance being able to see the future storyline continues.
it was a good little segment just to be like, hey, don't forget Canyon's here. That's kind of what they use these cuts to the world for. It's like, hey, don't forget about this character. He's not on the show tonight, but we just want to,
Yeah.
don't forget about him. Uh, tell the world, not the world meaning tell everybody who is watching. Maybe just talk about again how much you love Daniel Jones because I'll be
Oh, are
back.
you leaving again?
Yeah, just 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
One, two. He's not that close. So Super Bowl 41. He's got. Oh, yeah, it's number one. That's what the Colts were. That's how they're number one. 2005, 2006 Super Bowl. Colts beat the Bears. Everybody remembers. Yeah, we are 1 week away from September 10th. Obviously, everyone's favorite episode of Raw. Who better than Canyon, right? Who better? I could think of a few. What? When you look at Daniel Jones's history, he has one playoff win. That's more than Caleb Williams will ever have. Um, he's more handsome than Caleb Williams. That's for damn sure. He's a seasoned veteran who travels all over the league. He used to be here in New York. Then he went to Minnesota. And now he's in Indianapolis. The man just likes to travel. That's more than Caleb Williams can say. That's for damn sure. I know you got Justin Fields here in New York. All those poor Jet fans. Those poor Jet fans. I'd have sympathy for them if I didn't hate them. And now the Mets have lost Jeff McNeil for 3 to 4 weeks because spring training is so much fun. We're live, man. Harvey. The meowing. Do 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 do. And that is why Super Bowl 41 was my favorite.
Again, you keep mentioning Super Bowl 41. That's a perma ban, but we'll still bring him back because we got to do the show. So, we still got to
Yeah,
finish the show. So, your
yeah.
perma ban,
I
and we
wasn't
still
talking
got to
about
finish.
Super Bowl 41 or Jeff McNeil being hurt or anything.
You mentioned I knew about Jeff McNeil, but you mentioned Super Bowl. First off, you mentioned Super Bowl 41 right as I was leaving. So you got permabanned right then and there. But then you mentioned it right as I was coming back. So but we still have to finish this show. We still have to do the road to Unforgiven. We still have a lot of road twos that we have planned in the
Yeah.
future. So
And
your
then after all
permaban
that, then I'll be banned.
you are permanent now, but you still have to come back and do all these road twos that we will do at some point.
Yeah,
And
obviously.
again, even though both of us kind of have an understanding of what we may choose for our next road two, we are not announcing any new reviews
Until,
until
until
we get.
Unforgiven.
Yes, that has been a rule for a couple of months now because we at one point had like three road twos lined up. That's like meant we had to review like probably 20 shows. It's one of the reasons why we went pretty quickly from like our 50th episode, and now all of a sudden we're doing episode number 70, baby. Give it up for episode 70.
I prefer an
Sure.
episode 69.
Episode 70, the episode where Tro just goes hard on Grandma Edna, man. Like,
Yeah. Don't worry, episode 72 is when the fun begins.
okay, so Smack. Yeah, that's gonna be the
We're on
the
September
go
10th.
home the go home to 9/11, I guess. Oh my god.
Jesus. Go home to 9/11. It's like a paper, like the paper.
Well, we've been making this. You've had more than 9/11 jokes than I've had. So you've been
Look,
making this out like
it's like a car crash. You see it's coming. You can't swerve out of the way.
you've you've made this more out to be the road to 9/11 than the road to
Well, that's why I
Unforgiven.
picked the show because I knew that we were going to have to
I know,
tiptoe our way into it.
I know, and boy, it's not. See, I've talked about how like they've done a shit job building up like the other matches outside of the
Yeah,
main events, and I'm trying to show like okay, I still love WWE in 2001. I've still enjoyed most of these shows. Again, thumbs in the middle for that one SmackDown. But again, I expect more from WWE at this time, and that's why I come off as being like very sour as to what we have been watching this week as we are on the road to Unforgiven '01. I'll probably sound more excited for the pay because like I said, I enjoyed the pay-per-view, but it's just the build up to this. And I'm a weekly show guy because to me it's a television show and I want to see good TV. And for the most part, we've gotten decent TV and one really not so good TV with that one SmackDown. So, so we had okay. So the last thing we did was Canyon at the World. So now, oh well, first Canyon actually said he regrets not being in Toronto for Stone Cold's biggest surprise. He didn't just say it's Alliance New York. He's also said he regrets not being in Toronto for Austin's big surprise, and he said Austin says that is why Canyon has a future. I believe that's Canyon saying that Austin. Oh no, no, no.
Yeah.
Right. They actually cut to Austin watching this on TV. My bad. They cut to Austin watching this on TV, and Austin says this is why Canyon has a future in the alliance. And Stephanie comes in and says that the surprise is getting closer, and that Deborah, who by the way, again, I said it on our last show and I'm still sticking to it. Deborah should have been kicked out of the alliance for throwing a steel cookie sheet in the face of Stephanie McMahon. I mean, not Stephanie, Stacy Keibler. Who does that? I mean, come on. Stacy
Who throws a
Keibler,
shoe?
huh?
Who throws a shoe?
Yeah, who throws a shoe? But it's Stacy Keebler's extremely cute face, and Deborah had the gall to do that. And the first point, the fact of the matter is, the milk getting poured on her was not Stacy Keebler's fault, and I stand by that. It was Sean Stasiak who planned everything. So yeah, Deborah should have been kicked out of the alliance. She should have been jumped and then kicked out of the alliance. You do not mess with Stacy Keebler. So yeah, the surprise is getting closer. Deborah is worried about Angle being in the building as well. That's what Stephanie McMahon says, and as Austin says, that's no bother because every time Angle shows up, Austin will kick his ass. So what do you think about? I did ask you this, but I didn't realize we actually didn't finish that segment. So what do you think about Canyon at the World and then the Austin and Stephanie stuff that followed?
Who better than Canyon? No one better than Canyon. That was a fun segment.
Yeah, and
And
then
Austin
Austin.
be like, I don't really. Austin like, giving Canyon credit, like, oh damn, just so that's pretty damn smart. I wonder. I
Yeah,
wonder what my surprise is.
yeah. Like I said, that was just to get Canyon on TV. You know,
Yeah,
they always brought somebody to the world just to be like, don't forget about
they
this guy.
didn't. They didn't next week.
Right. And then the Austin stuff was good. And obviously, again, they're once again making sure everybody knows there's a nice little surprise for the leader of the invasion, the leader of the alliance, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now we have Sean Stasiak. I mentioned Stacy Keibler earlier. Sean Stasiak with the amazing Stacy Keibler, and that's right. Yes, she's not with the Dudleys yet. I forget this. She's actually with Sean Stasiak. So Sean Stasiak with Stacy Keibler taking on Spike Dudley with Molly Holly, who I will say outside of Trish would be the most beautiful member of the Team WWE here, but still Team WWE, Team Alliance still takes it with what they have. Um, Sean Stasiak hits a military press on Spike, knocking Spike off the ropes, and then Spike. Oh no! After that military press, Spike goes like runs to the rope to like run off the ropes, and he goes to try to kick Stacy Keibler, and obviously Stacy Keibler just defends herself. She says, "Yo, get the hell!" Trips her, trips Spike, excuse me, and later in the match, when Spike Dudley's in the corner, um, Sean Stasiak runs and just falls on his ass, leading to, I believe, not too long after that, a Dudley dog by Spike Dudley. He gets the win. And let me see. Stacy confronts Spike, and then Molly Holly, obviously from behind, just bullies Stacy Keibler. Terrible by Molly Holly to do that. I'm sure all Stacy wanted to do was just be like, "Look, Spike, why the hell did you try to kick me there?" You know, it's a bad job of Spike Dudley, by the way,
Yeah,
to try and kick Stacy Keibler, the Duchess of the Alliance. So Spike needs to be jumped for that, by the way, and Molly. Somebody needs to jump Molly for assaulting Stacy Keibler. She actually after that she actually puts Stacy in the corner and does the backflip, the elbow back thing where she like, oh, handspring elbow, yeah. She does the handspring elbow to Stacy Keebler, and again, Molly Holly needs to be jumped for that. You do not put your hands on Stacy Keebler. So not really much to talk about with this match. I thought the Sean Stasiak thing was kind of funny, where he just trips on himself, but that's about it. What did you think?
Whoa.
What
That
did
was
you think?
fine.
Yeah. Yeah, not much to talk about that. We will move on. Christian in the back, he sees Edge. Edge comes over and Christian wishes him luck. He says Christian, or no, Edge wishes Christian luck. Excuse me, because again, Christian is going for the WCW title. Christian says he wants to be on his own tonight, and he says, "Look, here, this is your King of the Ring trophy. I've been a jerk, you know, holding this King of the Ring trophy and washing it like it's my own." And Edge is like, "It's all good, don't worry about that." So Christian has been a heel lately, but as you see, there's nothing wrong with Edge and Christian. He even apologized to his
Yeah.
brother. Yeah,
What?
there's
What? You know what? What a good guy. Good guy
yes,
Christian
absolutely.
is.
Absolutely. And this just again, why is Grandma Edna ignoring this nice man?
I don't. You know what? You know what, Grandma Edna? Fuck you. Christian is a good. Christian is a good boy. He would never do anything to hurt his brother. He was a little jerk, but you know what? We all have our bad days. And you know what, Grandma Edna? You know what? You know what? You son of a bitch. I hope you die, Grandma Edna. How about that? I don't know
So
how. I don't know how you found Christian's phone number, but I hope you die, Grandma Edna. How about that?
so 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 Kurt no Stone Cold stole Kurt Angle's medals, but Grandma Edna has been the biggest heel of the Rotund.
Yeah,
Absolutely. How do you ignore Christian like
what a bitch.
that? Oh boy. Oh, so now we have more Perry Saturn and Moppy. They have built up Perry Saturn versus Raven better than they built up the tag titles and the hardcore title. We still don't know at this point where we are. We still do
Who
not
could it
know.
be?
Yes, we don't know who it is that stole Moppy and will be facing Perry Saturn and Unforgiven, but still, it's a who done it type storyline. You're not supposed to know yet. They have built this storyline up better than two of their title matches. No title was on the line in this match. Matter of fact, I think the light heavyweight title's on the line too. At Unforgiven. I don't have the card with me. The DVD is on the shelf right now. I
Yeah.
don't have it with me, but I'm pretty sure there's a light heavyweight title match too that doesn't get too much build. Oh yeah, Tajiri versus Rhino. I'm pretty sure of that that's gotten no build. They're building up Perry Saturn versus Raven more than they're building up some of the title matches on this card. And oh
Oh
yeah,
boy.
Chris Jericho gets a pinfall victory over RVD. Spoiler alert in the main event here. Oh, that's how we build it up. Oh, whoop-de fucking do. Yeah, uh, come on, man. There's been virtually no build up to RVD versus Jericho. There's been no build up to Undertaker and Kane versus Chronic. I get it. Chronic literally just got hired on this day, but still, like, come on. And there's been no build up to Tajiri versus Ryan. And this is why I say again, why I always say the Attitude Era is my favorite time period because everybody was in a storyline. If you are on the show, you were involved in some type of storyline. If there's a match on a pay per view, you'd best believe it is being focused on Raw every damn week. If not, maybe one week they got to focus on something else, they'll get to it the next week. This is why I love the Attitude Era, as you know, and this is post Attitude Era. It's still 2001, but it's post Attitude Era. Attitude Era ended with WrestleMania 17. So, but here we go. Perry Saturn is complaining about Moppy missing, and he's talking to somebody off camera. he's on camera, but he's talking to somebody who is off camera. He says, I know that you're Alliance, but you are the type of guy that would help me with something like this. And he's like, help me find Moppy. Camera cuts over to who he's talking to. It's the Hurricane. And Perry Saturn has the one, the little note from last week, $1,000 ransom and all that. So Hurricane takes a look at it. Um, he's like, he said he goes off about M. He's like, a million. It starts with an M. What also starts with an M is Moppy. Oh no. He says last week where we were in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Michigan starts with an M. Moppy starts with an M. You know who else starts with an M? And this is who did it. Matt Hardy.
Damn.
There you go. Well, Perry Saturn made the mistake of going to an Alliance guy, and the Alliance guy obviously is going to take him not only to a WWE guy, but the WWE guy he's currently feuding with. Bad move there, Perry Saturn. But yeah, this match here getting much more build than some of the title matches on this show, on this not this show on Unforgiven, obviously. What do you think of Perry Saturn going to Hurricane for help with finding Moppy?
I think Hurricane's such a good guy with helping Perry Saturn.
Absolutely.
A real superhero.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
You know who Hurricane should really be messing with though?
Grandma Edna.
Grandma Edna. Maybe Grandma Edna stole Moppy.
There you go. Putting it long term story or not long term storyline, Billy, but we're making both two angles come together here.
There you go. Fucking, I can't believe she stole Moppy.
Oh my gosh! Don't get me started on Grandma Edna. She never talks to Christian. She
No.
steals Moppy. She's probably the one who told Kurt Angle to take or to told Stone Cold Steve Austin to take the gold medals and throw them off the
Yeah.
river with a red, white, and blue brick. By the way, I pay attention to
Uh-huh.
detail. I pay attention to detail. There's a red, white, and blue brick that he
Yeah.
tied the gold medal to and threw it off the river. But that was all Grandma Edna.
Well, Grandma Edna. What happens next Tuesday? Grandma Edna.
It's not next Tuesday. It will be two. We're about 2 weeks away from what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Remember, remember, it's this is not
It
the
all comes
last.
back to her, Frank. It all comes back to her.
Why did Jeff McNeil get hurt today?
Grandma Edna.
There you go. Damn you, Grandma Edna.
Why do the Islanders give up a short-handed goal to the Tampa Bay Lightning in Game 7? Grandma Edna.
You just had to bring that up, right?
Why did the Bears lose to the Colts in Super Bowl 41? Grandma Edna.
He's perma banned, but we still have a show to get to. So let me just.
We can just all blame her. I'm perma banned because of Grandma Edna.
so now we get to Booker T, or excuse me, not Booker T, The Rock taking on Christian for the WCW title, and what bigger shove it to Grandma Edna, throw it right in her face for Christian to win the WCW title. Maybe Grandma Edna will pick up the phone now.
I hope Christian goes to Grandma Edna after he beats The Rock, which he obviously will. We all know this. And he just nails her in the face with the title. That'll teach her.
We just had the WrestleMania 18 press conference. This is all building to WrestleMania 18.
I bet Grandma Edna was there.
Christian versus Grandma Edna at WrestleMania 18. Let's go.
You think you're special? You do. I have to beat you, Grandma Edna. I have to beat you more than I have ever needed to beat someone before.
Oh my gosh. So Rock taking on Christian for the WCW title. Booker T comes out and he is the guest ring announcer, so he's introducing first your guest ring announcer, the five time, 5 time WCW champion. And now introducing next, he turns over to fellow Bears fan Brian Hebner, who is the referee. Shout out to Brian Hebner. He turns over to Brian Hebner. He's like, "What do you call those time guys? What do you call timekeeper guys?" And Brian Hebner's like, "You mean the timekeeper?" And Booker T's like, "Oh yeah, the timekeeper. You're a special guest timekeeper, Shane McMahon." And then he calls out Christian to come out. Your challenger, Christian. Then he just goes off on Rock. He's like, "The man who's gonna get his ass whooped tonight." Blah blah blah. And Rock, Rock almost as bad as Grandma Edna. The
Yeah.
Rock has his music play before Booker T can even get to the name. Introducing him and and Rock comes out. And remember SummerSlam '04 when Jerry Lawler said that Canada is Bizarro World?
It's
Well,
bizarre. It's bizarre. They're going edge.
yeah, they cheered the heels and booed the baby faces all throughout SummerSlam '04. This one kind of makes a little sense because
Yeah.
Christian's the hometown boy, but he's obviously the
I
heel.
think they just really hate The Rock because they boo him
they
at
hate
WrestleMania 18 too.
They hate another guy who they're gonna really go off on later tonight, but they boo. They cheer. They don't boo Rock. They just at one point cheer "Let's Go Christian." Like we get a "Let's
Yeah.
Go Christian" chant in the middle of the match.
You know, when The Rock turned heel in his Hollywood run, he should have been like, three things made me turn heel. One, it was that Long Island crowd who cheered for Brock over me. The other two was the Toronto fans who booed me, who didn't cheer for me enough. And that random SmackDown, that random Raw from 2001, and then at WrestleMania 18. So Long Island and Toronto, this is all your fault.
There you go. Uh, So Rock hits the rock bottom to get the win. Really good match here. This was very entertaining. Um, After the match, Rock looks at Booker T, who's been on the outside the whole time. He's the guest ring announcer, but he's standing ringside for the whole match, like not over like where the timekeeper or sitting down where the ring announcer normally is. He's on the outside, on ringside, and he tells excuse me, The Rock tells Booker T, just bring it. And Booker gets in the ring, and Rock gets the one up on Booker for a few seconds, but then Shane gets in out of nowhere, jumps The Rock, but then the APA comes out, and then we see one of the most impressive things throughout the whole night. Shane McMahon runs out of the ring, and then jumps on the freaking the announce booth and runs on through the announce booth onto the barricade and then jumps over the barricade and runs away. But the fact that Shane McMahon was able to run on top of the announce table, that thing breaks easily a
Yeah,
lot.
it's a good thing that thing didn't break, boy.
Yeah, remember Fully Loaded 2000. I've read Chris Jericho's book. That's how I know this story. But Chris Jericho and Triple H told everybody in the back before the show, do not touch the Spanish announce table. We need it for our match. And then at one point in China's match, I Fully Loaded 2000 was a great show, but I forgot who China worked with. Somebody jumps on China, and they end up on the announce table, the Spanish announce table, and the announce table just collapses on them. So how the hell was Shane McMahon able to run on this thing? They must have reinforced it somehow
Yeah,
before the show. That's got
they
to
didn't
be
gimmick it.
yeah. That must be how. But that was crazy. That was crazy to see, knowing how that thing normally just breaks easily. But yeah, ABA still sour at Shane McMahon for costing them that 6-man tag match at SummerSlam. Which, I mean, who could blame them? I mean, SummerSlam is literally still the pay-per-view that's being promoted at the
Yeah,
World.
you're still building to it.
So now we see Stephanie looking amazing as always, and Deborah. They are happy because the surprise is here. That is great. The surprise is here. We get the Stacker 2 burn of the week. Have you ever tried Stacker 2?
No, I'm an adult.
What about Grandma Edna? You think Grandma Edna's ever had Stacker 2?
Oh yeah, she just lives on that stacker energy and that Y2J stinger.
Why Jay Stinger? Why Jay Stinger?
YJ stinger.
I think this is obviously it's pre WWE promoting YJ Stinger. It might have been pre YJ Stinger too. Because I think that must have been like a brand new energy drink at the time WWE started promoting it.
WWE loves to promote energy drinks. I don't know why they just do.
They do, but I'll say
Even
this.
now, they have fucking C4.
I will say this though, the Stacker 2 promotions led to some great commercials involving Trish Stratus and the Dudley Boys.
I bet
You've
Grandma
not,
Edna eats Snickers too.
probably maybe Grandma Edna was a big Snickers cruncher.
Crunch this.
I still wish they would bring that back. The Snickers cruncher was lit. But Stacker 2 Crunch of the Week, or whatever they say it was. Austin throwing the medals into the river. Obviously, they're showing this because Austin is about to receive his surprise. And that is when Stephanie comes down to the ring looking amazing as usual. And she just goes off on Canada in their illiterate speech of how they finish sentences with questions. Like, Stephanie McMahon, you look amazing today, eh? Remember how I said when Austin was talking about that? Canadians, all they say is A. Well, this was Stephanie's
Hey,
promo. This was Stephanie's promo. She just makes fun of literally the same thing that Austin was making fun of. So the Alliance just hates the A.
hey, you ate the A?
so so Stephanie also says she is out to honor the hardest working man in America, and that is Stone Cold Steve Austin. At some point, Austin comes down to the ring, and we see on the Titantron, Deborah has a brand new pickup truck. A pickup
It's a
truck
new car.
for Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Deborah, for about 3 minutes, just explains the
Yeah,
details of the
whatever deal they got with this truck, the sponsorship included explaining every little. This new Ford 150 comes with
4x4.
a steer. 4x4 comes with a steering wheel. Oh, and a state of the art radio. You can get satellite if you're lucky. Don't pay no attention. It also comes with its own kiddie pool.
Oh, don't spoil anything. Don't spoil
Oh,
anything.
wait, it comes with a kiddie pool, obviously.
Yeah, Deborah literally went on for like 3 minutes, like as if she was a sponsor.
This is called stalling for time.
You know what? No, this is called, instead of building up the pay-per-view, we'd rather just buy sponsors.
We're building up. They're building up this truck more than they're building up the tag team match. This truck. We know more about this truck than we know what Undertaker Kane are doing at Unforgiven.
Not just Undertaker K. They're building the truck up more than they're building up the hardcore title match. They're building it up more than they're building up the light heavyweight title match.
Jericho is going to be the undisputed champion by the end of the year, and they haven't even promoted his match against RVD.
Well, it hasn't been announced yet, but
Yeah,
because it hasn't, truthfully, Austin and Angle have not been announced yet. A little bit of a spoiler: it gets announced at the end of this show. But Austin and Angle is proof that just because you haven't announced the match itself, you can still build it. I mean, they forgot about Austin versus Angle at that one SmackDown episode, which
Yeah.
that was about it. Other than that, they've built up Austin and Angle very well. But that one SmackDown episode, they said we don't even give a fuck about the pay per view. Here's just a bunch of random matches for you guys to watch.
Here's a Perry Saturn segment.
Yeah, we
That's
got
all you're
one.
gonna get for the
We
night.
got one Perry Saturn in Regal's office segment off that SmackDown. That was about it. But yeah, so Deborah goes off and tells everybody how great this pickup truck is. That there must have been some kind of sponsorship with
Yeah.
4x4, whatever the hell the truck's name is. And we hear Austin say, "Oh my gosh, I love this. You know how I love like 4x4 or whatever the hell it is." So Deborah then tells Austin, "Come to the back and give your wife a ride on in the new pickup truck. They're gonna drive around in the new pickup truck." So Austin goes to the back. He looks at the truck. He's like kicking the tires. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I love this truck. It's amazing." Blah, blah, blah. Whatever the hell Deborah was talking, he probably repeated some of that. And he goes on to the bed thing where, you open the back. I'm not a
Yeah.
truck guy. I'm not a truck guy. They open the back of the truck. He goes on to the back and one thing, there's a production truck behind the pickup truck. I'm just putting that
Yeah.
out there. Not that that means anything, but Austin sort of stands up on the truck and he says a line that normally doesn't end too well for the person saying it. But Tro, what did Stone Cold say on the pickup truck here?
I'm the king of the world.
And so, right as he says, "I'm the king of the world," the door to the production truck opens. Kurt Angle, the production, the pickup truck is so close to the production truck that Kurt Angle just walks out of the production truck, steps onto the ramp thing that Austin opened up the back of the truck, and he walks in. Angle does. He walks into the back of the truck and assaults Austin with a pipe, and he brings um a brick, by the way, that is not red, white, and blue. Stone Cold
No.
Steve Austin was nice enough to put those gold medals on a red, white, and blue brick, but Kurt Angle himself does not have
No.
a red. He does not
What a
have a red,
bastard.
white, and blue brick. So Angle throws a brick into the truck that has a big ass chain on it, and he essentially hops into the pickup truck and drives away to the dismay of Deborah and Stephanie McMahon. This was a great segment, and I mentioned earlier, "Shut Your Mouth." This is the scene I was talking about. That if you have played the "Shut Your Mouth" storyline, this scene that we just saw, with the exception of Deborah talking all about this new truck, this scene looks very familiar to anybody who has played "Shut Your Mouth," because the scene where they show the truck to the person getting the truck and then somebody attacking them with a lead pipe is on the "Shut Your Mouth" story mode. But this was a great segment. Again, we're building Austin and Angle, and to be fair, it is the biggest match on the card. This should be built up, but again, they're still ignoring like a lot of the undercard matches. We're not going to sit here and say that that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But great segment here. What do you think about it?
I thought it was great. It was he again Austin. Oh, I love this truck so freaking much. He doesn't even notice critical bunk onto
Yeah.
him.
And you never say I'm the king of the world. It never ends well for you.
Yeah,
Remember
0% chance of it being successful afterwards.
Remember Peter Griffin in like the early seasons of Family Guy said, "I'm the king of the world." In the King and I episode, he said, "I'm the king of the world."
Yep.
At first, he was like on stage, and as he says it, he just falls off the stage. And then there's one time where he's like in a robe and he's talking to somebody. He's like, "Because I'm the king of the world," and he like slips off this bush. He like falls into this bush. So yeah, don't ever say I'm the king of the world. Also,
Yeah, I guess Austin just got done watching Titanic. Damn son, fucking Rose, you had enough room on that piece of door for the both of you, you stupid son of a bitch.
which is probably, by the way, you mentioned the Titanic. That's probably what Family Guy was mocking
Yeah.
by having Peter say, "I'm the king of the world," and then something bad happens to him. But
Christian
yeah,
walks in. Christian walks in while Austin's watching Titanic. He's like, "Oh, you know, my grandma Edna actually based Rose off of her. I fucking knew it. That fucking bitch."
yeah, Grandma Edna is the biggest heel going into
Yeah,
Unforgiven
she's
2001.
she had enough food for Jack to survive. She throws the heart of the ocean into the sea. She let her family be in poverty when she could have just sold the fucking necklace. Grandma Edna is just the fucking worst.
Oh boy, Grandma Edna is horrible. But I'll tell you what's
Yeah,
not. Go ahead.
she's the worst.
I'll tell you what's not horrible though. Ivory, and she is next here. Matt Hardy and Lita taking on the Hurricane and Ivory, and and in this match, Perry Saturn actually comes out because remember what
Yep.
Hurricane said. Matt Hardy's the one who stole Moppy, so Perry Saturn essentially comes up on the apron and is like confronting Matt Hardy, and Matt Hardy's like, "What the hell are you doing out here?" And that distracts Matt Hardy. Hurricane hits the eye of the Hurricane and gets the pinfall victory. Then Perry Saturn comes in the ring and somehow I don't know what happened in those few seconds, but Perry Saturn realizes Matt Hardy didn't take Moppy, and he just beats the shit out of Hurricane. The match
He's like,
again,
wait
not
a
much.
second, Matt Hardy, you couldn't have stolen Moppy.
The M thing didn't go for Perry Saturn. Michigan, Moppy, Matt Hardy. It made so much.
Grandma
Yeah,
Edna. Oh my
there
god.
you go. There you go. We have solved the puzzle here. It's Grandma
Yeah.
Edna. Grandma Edna stole Moppy, or maybe Grandma Edna hired somebody. Call to kidnap
Yeah.
Moppy.
She's the real leader of the flock.
So for
Oh
the
wait a
match,
second, that actually kind of makes sense because Edgar Allan Poe wrote The
there you
Raven
go. There you
forevermore.
go.
Oh
There
my
you go.
god.
You're on to
Well,
something.
we're a conspiracy, gorilla.
So in terms of the match, again, not much to talk about. So far, the only really good match on the night has been Rock and Christian, but that's a good thing. This is a weekly show. We're not supposed to have
Yep.
30-minute matches all throughout the damn show. But instead, we're actually building shit up in these matches, and that's what they're doing here. They built up two different angles for this match with Perry Saturn and Moppy, and then that four-team elimination tag match that Hurricane and Matt Hardy's teams, respective teams, will be a part of. So we're building both those up. I thought that was good. Uh, well, what did you think of this match here?
I thought it was fine. It was a good. It was,
Good.
it was kind of a nothing match, but it was
Right.
fine.
And Moppy, we still haven't found Moppy. Damn you, Grandma
Moppy.
Ed.
Yeah.
So now we have Edge trying to console his brother Christian
Yeah.
when Lance Storm comes in and calls them losers, and he calls Toronto losers because they lost their bid for the Olympics. Remember, Edge and Christian are Torontoites.
Yeah.
So Lance Storm, who is Canadian, but he's from Calgary, is going off on
Oh, big
Toronto.
Flame fan.
Yeah, he must be a big Flame fan. He didn't go off on the Leafs though. And their
No.
logo was literally right behind them during this segment. So he says Toronto lost the bid for the Olympics. Christian lost the WC title match, and now Edge is going to make it 3-for-3 when he loses the Intercontinental title to Lance Storm later. But does Lance Storm not know that Toronto won the bid for WrestleMania 18? Is Lance Storm just not paying attention?
I don't know if he watched the segment earlier.
Maybe he hadn't got to the show yet.
Maybe he went to Winnipeg thinking that they won it.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe the Leafs had beaten the Flames a couple of nights ago prior to this show, and that's why.
Probably not, because they would have been it would have been training camp, but just would have just opened.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was September 3rd. I forget.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! It has been so long. We just got a comment. Guess who it's from?
Is it the return of the legend himself?
It is the return of the legend himself. State of Survival. He's back. State of Survival says, you guys are still alive. Where have you been, State of Survival? You've missed the whole Islander season pretty much. He's an Islander fan, right?
Are we still alive? Are you still alive, State of Survival?
That's what we've been wondering. We've been wondering where you are.
We say Grandma Edna enough and he appears. He's a freaking Joe Hendry out here.
Shout out to State of Survival. He's back, baby. Big round of applause. Big round of applause for our buddy. One of our best I was about to say listeners. One of our best viewers. And State of Survival again says, "Oh yeah, I'm still here. Welcome back, State of Survival. We missed you, man." One of the biggest moments in the history of the show right here. Maybe you guys are doing this shit at 6 a.m. in the morning. That's the problem. Location is the problem. It's 6 a.m. in the morning where State of Survival is. It's only 12:30 in the afternoon for us. That's the problem. But how about it, man? We have not seen State of Survival in like a full year. We've been expecting you for the Islander videos and shit, and we haven't seen you all season for the Islanders. But what you said there, I made the joke about Lance Storm was upset because the Flames beat the Leafs, but you're right. This show's from September 3rd.
Yeah.
So I was I whatever. Maybe the last matchup of the 2000-2001 season for the Flames and the Leafs. Maybe the Leafs beat the Flames.
And I don't know. I don't think anyone ever talks about I mean, people do talk about the 2001-2002 Leafs, but only because of the Sean Bates penalty shot. So
exactly, one of the greatest moments in NHL playoff history. But yeah, so it makes sense. Lance Storm's mad at Torontoites for some reason. So, the Leafs must have put a beat down on the.
I just hope that Lance Storm can calm down and leave Christian alone. He's had a hard night.
Yeah, he's had a hard night, and he's still friends. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with him and his brother. It's just Grandma Edna.
They're friends.
Yeah, it's just Grandma Edna. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And she's been the whole problem. This is why Christian has been acting like a heel lately, because Grandma Edna is not responding to any of Christian's calls.
It all started with Grandma Edna.
Exactly. Christian's a good dude. You know, it's all Grandma Edna. So now we go to Stephanie McMahon and Deborah trying to call the police in the dressing room. This brings back memories to our WrestleMania 15 Road to WrestleMania 15, where Mr. McMahon is on the phone with Shane McMahon in the room, trying to call the cops about the abduction of Stephanie McMahon. That's literally what this brought back memories to. So another connection to our last two Road 2s there. we had the connection right away with the milk truck, ending our first episode of this road too. So we're connecting the dots here. But Stephanie and Deborah trying to make a complaint to the police when somebody in the alliance, one of the guys, says, "Look," and they cut to the TV in the room, and Angle pulls up with Stone Cold's new pickup truck, and he's on the bridge. He's got Austin blindfolded and chained up. He shows Austin the river underneath the bridge. Austin starts apologizing and telling Angle that he really doesn't want to do it. Angle says, "You know what? We need a higher bridge." And so he throws Austin back in the pickup truck. They drive away, and we cut back to Stephanie and Deborah, who are flipping out here. And they tell the alliance members to do something, and that's when all the alliance members outside of Stephanie and Deborah obviously all run out the room as if they're going to do something. Do they even know what bridge Kurt Angle's driving to?
There's a lot of bridges in Toronto.
Oh boy. So this is causing Stephanie some really like bad vibes here. Like she's really upset about this. So again, messing with Stephanie McMahon, somebody needs to jump Kurt Angle. As I believe Tro is there. He is. Okay. Yeah, somebody needs to jump Kurt Angle for
Yep.
he's messing. We need to jump Grandma Edna too because of all the stuff she's been doing.
I'm sure Grandma Edna put Kurt Angle up to this.
She probably did. She probably did. So now, speaking of Grandma Edna, the Intercontinental title is on the line as Lance Storm is challenging Edge in a battle of the Maple Leafs against the Flames. Edge versus Lance Storm. And in the end, Edge rolls up Lance Storm for the win. So he is still your Intercontinental Champion. The match itself is not the story. It's what happens afterwards.
Yeah.
As Lance Storm jumps Edge and he starts
That
working
bastard.
he starts working on the knee. And then Lance Storm goes for the chair. But that is when Christian comes in.
Yeah.
There you go. They're brothers.
Let's go, Christian.
Yes. He
Fuck
saves
you,
Edge.
Grandma Edna.
Edge and Christian hug. A beautiful segment. That's how the segment ends, right?
Yeah, we all fade to black and we don't come back to Unforgiven.
And Christian actually gives Edge the King of the Ring trophy. Edge holds it up. And then, am I seeing this right?
What?
Christian smacks a steel chair into the face of Edge.
No.
See what Grandma Edna has been doing?
This is obviously Grandma Edna's doing.
Grandma Edna just split up the greatest brother tandem in pro wrestling history.
Damn you, Christian! Damn your soul! You son of a bitch!
If Grandma Edna would have picked up the phone just one time to talk to Christian, Christian would have never drove that steel chair into Edge's face.
No.
But after the steel chair shot to the skull, Christian becomes the first Canadian since 1993 to hold a big steel trophy over his head. As he grabs the King of the Ring trophy and carries it over his head like it's the Stanley
That's
Cup.
the closest that Toronto will ever get to that.
It's the closest that Canada has ever gotten to winning the Stanley Cup since 1990.
No, to be fair, the Oilers almost did last year, and
the Oilers did, but they didn't hold any trophies up.
Then the Oilers almost did again in 2006, I think it was.
Yeah,
and the Flames.
But still, they didn't hold any trophies up after they got close. Christian actually
do the '94 Rangers count because they were basically they were basically Canadians.
No, they do not count. Christian holds up the silver trophy that looks like a cup. And so, this is the closest Canada's ever gotten to holding up a cup since 1993. Well, this is the last time, I should say, outside of 1993 that a Canadian has held a cup up like that. But that's not it, as Tro is frozen here. He's perma banned, but he's also frozen. But again, we still need
No,
to
I'm
get to
still here. I was just trying to do other stuff on other apps.
yeah. But you are perma banned, but we still need to
I
finish.
know. It's Grandma Edna's fault. I'm sorry.
So we're not even done here. After he holds the trophy up, um, Christian starts yelling. Christian puts a chair under Edge's head and he starts yelling, "You did this to me. You did this to me." And he hits a one man concerto on his own brother. And the "you did this to me" is obviously she's he's looking at Edge as he's saying that, but this is to Grandma Edna who he's talking to. You did this to me. That's the only reason why these two brothers who were like so close to each other, and we've seen it in the past couple of weeks. There's been nothing wrong with each other. Brothers
Huh.
bicker all the time. It was just a couple brothers bickering, but
You
because
know,
Grandma Edna, go ahead.
they just had to rewatch the first Pokemon movie, Brother and My Brother. They would have just gotten so much. They would have gotten along. I can't believe this.
But it's because of Grandma Edna, man. But
Bitch.
in in terms of the match, again, not much to talk about. But the breakup was great, and we're finally building towards. Well, no, we're not fine. We have been building up Edge and Christian
Yeah,
for
building
weeks.
this one.
Yeah, they've been building towards this one. It's the other title matches, the undercard title matches that have been getting no build whatsoever. But yeah, great little breakup moment. What did you think of this? Uh, okay, yeah.
Uh,
What do you think?
it was a good turn.
Yeah, great turn in my opinion.
Very very good.
Yeah. So now we have the main event match, although not the main event, not the last thing we see on the show, but Rhino and uh, and RVD taking on Jeff Hardy and Chris Jericho. And like I said earlier, as the match was beginning, Paul Heyman brought it up. Rhino is the only person to pin The Rock since WrestleMania. That is a very interesting quote there by Paul Heyman. But anyway, RVD gets a roll up on Jericho at one point. Jericho reverses it though, and he gets the win. And I guess that's how we're building up the hardcore title here. Since Jericho has pinned RVD, now we got a feud. But that's your match there. Chris Jericho and Matt and Jeff Hardy get the victory. Not much to say about this match. The match of the night is easily Christian versus The Rock for the WCW title,
Yeah.
where the Canadian fans were rooting for the heel. The Bizarro World fans were obviously rooting for the heel. Um, and now after the match, we cut to the bridge again, and Angle is on a much higher bridge. He shows this to Austin and gives Austin a few minutes to think about it, and Austin's just begging for his life. So we go to commercial, and apparently TNN at this point had like really big technical difficulties, and it's like an ear-piercing sustained tone issued. Thankfully, the copy of this episode that I have is not TNN. I did not see this, but then we have Deborah in the ring and she is essentially blaming she's blaming the Canadians for what has happened, and Now Deborah is essentially again now she's begging Kurt Angle to not throw her husband off a bridge, and she's just begging and crying, and
Please
they
don't kill
cut,
my please don't kill my husband.
and then they cut back to the bridge where Angle is essentially getting his payback for last week. Because remember, at one point last week, Angle Austin before he threw the gold medals off the bridge, he was like, beg for me to not throw the medals off the bridge. Cry for me, Kurt. Cry for me. So Angle essentially does all that while Austin is standing up. He's blindfolded. He has no idea where he is. He's like beg and cry and Austin actually starts begging. He's like, please don't throw me off the bridge. Don't throw me off the bridge. In the end, Angle says, I won't throw you off the bridge if you give me what I want, and I want a title match. And Austin says, you got it. Don't worry about it. You got it. He's like, I don't want just any title match. I want it at Pittsburgh, PA, my hometown, at Unforgiven. And Austin's like, you got it. Don't worry. You got it. He's like, where's the title match going to be? It's Pittsburgh, PA, damn it. Pittsburgh, PA, Unforgiven. Now, untie me, Kurt. And Angle's like, well, you finally given me the match that I want, but I'm not gonna untie you. And in fact, I'm actually gonna push you off the bridge. He pushes Austin. Austin ends up falling, not off a bridge, but he is blindfolded. He has no idea what he's seen, what's going on. But Austin falls into the aforementioned kiddie pool. What a moment. And
So did Kurt have to? Assuming he didn't have the kiddie pool with him when he kidnapped Austin.
no, he clearly didn't.
So he had Austin tied up in the back of his truck, and he went to, I guess, a Canadian.
No. Do you not know Canada? Bro, if you drive on the streets in Toronto, there's a kiddie pool near every bridge, man. You drive by every
Mm,
bridge, just a kiddie pool randomly laying there over at every bridge.
I knew it,
And
but
that might be something that you know who set that up? Who set that rule up for
Grandma
Toronto?
Edna.
There you go, Grandma Edna. The biggest heel leading into Unforgiven too.
Yeah, but yeah, like the thought, the thought of Kurt having to go to a Walmart. Does he bring the blindfolded Austin there, or does he leave him outside in the truck tied down? Help! I'm tired. I'm blindfolded.
He left him in the truck, and the people that heard his screams ran over to the truck. Was like, "Oh, it's just Austin. He's a heel.
Oh, it's it's
He's
just
with the
Austin.
alliance. He's with the
He's a
alliance."
he's a heel.
But you
I
know
know
what?
he's cold.
We're in Toronto. We're in Bizarro World, so they might have actually tried to save
Oh yeah,
Austin.
that's true. That's
so after
happening.
so after Austin gets thrown into the kiddie pool, Angle hops into his new pickup truck because again, remember, possession is 9/10 of the law. So this is his pickup truck. And actually, Paul Heyman at one point during the show actually said that. I forgot what he was referring to, but he did say that at one point of the show. I think it may have had something to do with Booker T always stealing The Rock's catchphrases and shit. I think that's what Booker was referring to. But anyway, Kurt Angle gets into his new pickup truck, drives away, and Austin immediately like crawls out of the kiddie pool. There's water all over the street now. Austin is drenched, and he's like, "Kurt, you get back here!" Well, he doesn't wave his fist like that. Obviously, he's chained up. It's like, "Kurt, get back here!" No, a horrible ending for Stone Cold Steve Austin. And as it turns out, like we said at the beginning of the show, I thought that this was how the September 10th Raw ended. I thought this was the last scene that we saw in a pre 9/11 world for WWE. But we will find out what the last thing we see in a pre 9/11 world after tomorrow's review when we go over the SmackDown. After that, we will go out over that September 10th Raw. But anyway, the match itself, like I said, not much to talk about there. But everything that followed, the build up to Austin and Angle has been really good, and this brought it up, man, even better. Segment of the night, in my opinion, that last segment that we just went over, where Angle throws Austin into the kiddie pool, getting huge payback on Stone Cold for stealing the gold medals. But Tro, what did you think about the main event match and then everything that followed involving Austin,
I
Angle,
thought
and Deborah?
I thought the match was good. The segment afterwards with Austin, I'm sorry, Kurt, like it's such the departure from this badass Austin from just a
I
year
know.
ago.
But when you're a heel, you gotta be like that. You
Yeah,
gotta be
it just shows how great. Because even Austin from 2000, from the early heel run, he would have never done this.
right.
It
Right.
just shows like his mind is so gone at this point right now
Right.
that he's doing this. He's begging for his life instead of trying to kick Kurt's ass, even with chained up.
And
Because
that is
the old Austin would be like, "Yeah, you go ahead and shut up, bitch, throw me off the bridge. Once I recover, I'll kick your fucking ass."
yeah. But that is why that's why the reason for the weirdest pay-per-view poster ever with the three Austin faces. It made sense because Austin was deranged at this point as the leader of the alliance. Overall ratings, um, out of 10, I am going to go. I thought it was a good show. Edge and Christian's breakup, the stuff with Austin and Angle. Again, we're not really building some of those undercard title matches still, but I thought a lot of great stuff on here. I'm actually going to give this Raw a 9 out of 10. Let's not forget that WCW title match was really good too. So I give this a 9 out of 10. What are your overall?
I will give this an 8 out of 10.
So once again, we have 1 full point difference for
Well,
our.
if Christian, that son of a bitch, wasn't influenced by Grandma Edna so much,
It'd
it
be a
would have been
10.
a 9.
Yeah, it would have been. No, I agree with that. Grandma Edna just broke up the greatest brother tandem in
Mhm.
pro wrestling history. How dare Grandma Edna, man? If she would have picked up the phone just once, Christian would have
Just
still been
once.
hugging. He'd still been in that ring in Toronto, hugging Edge to
That
this day.
Yeah, to this Edge wouldn't have changed his name to Cope in
There you go.
AEW.
There you go. Neither of them would be in AEW. They'd still
Nope.
literally be in Toronto, whatever arena that was in. Oh, whatever the hell it is, where the Raptors play. They'd still literally be standing there hugging. Like every Raptors game from September 3rd, 2001, all the way to today would have Edge and Christian hugging right in the center court. If Grandma
Yep.
Edna just picked up the phone just once. Grandma Edna broke up Edge and Christian.
Damn you, Grandma Edna! Damn your soul! You son of a bitch!
So we've had one show on the road to Unforgiven 2001 where we both agreed on the rating. We both had 10 out of 10 for the first Raw. That
Well,
one that one SmackDown, you gave it a worse rating than I did. We did not. We weren't too crazy,
so,
but at least I gave it a 6.5. So like a thumbs in the middle type of thing. But you gave it like a 5, I think.
spoiler alert for the Raw for the September 10th episode of Raw. We'll probably have the same score.
For from this show or from the SmackDown?
The Raw next Raw.
No, no, I mean the same rating as the show we just went over,
We'll
or
have it.
that's
We'll have the same exact rating
we'll have
as
the same.
yeah.
So whatever we pick will be the same exact rating as each other. Okay.
Hopefully.
We're not rating it out of 11, just so you know.
Of course not. I'm not Dave Meltzer.
No, but I know the joke you're trying to like. We're not rating
What?
it out of 11, so
No,
you can't
of
pull
course
that.
not.
You can't pull that joke.
A 9. A 9 out of 11. Come
Oh boy.
on, a
So our
9 out of 12, obviously.
so our next show will be, not only is our next show going to be streaming tomorrow, but the episode we're going off of is literally tomorrow compared to the episode that we just reviewed. We are going to be going over the September 4th SmackDown, a historic SmackDown, because it is the first time in WWE history that SmackDown was legitimately live. SmackDown's legitimately on actually Tuesday, the day it is taped on. And again, uh, due to circumstances outside of WWE's hands, they're going to be live again right after that SmackDown. But that would be the first SmackDown live on Thursday. That being said, not only have we covered that episode, but the day we covered it, me and Christian, that was Tro wasn't here yet. But the day we covered that episode, I made the rule no tribute shows. So we're not going to do a review of that episode. So we are skipping over that. But things to look forward to coming up. We have the rest of the road to Unforgiven. Obviously, we will have Met season preview at the end of this month, sometime before the season begins, because the season does begin at the end of the month. But so we will have Mets season preview. We will have an Islanders month of March recap at the beginning of April. So be on the lookout for all that. Thank you to everybody who has watched. Tro, do you have anything else to say about the September 3rd, 2001 Raw?
Fuck you, Grandma Edna.
And on that note, thank you to everybody who's watched. Please subscribe and be sure to give the middle finger to Grandma Edna.